Hi, this is Asim.
This is Sujoy.
This is Amrita.
And you're listening to Khandaan, a Bollywood podcast about the three main Khans of the Hindi film industry.
Amir,
Salman,
And Shara.
Hi, you're listening to Khandaan, a Bollywood podcast regular feed. Thank you so much for your support over the years. We now have a Patreon channel with bonus content and exclusive merch for those of you who would like to support us. Every dollar goes towards creating more and better content. Visit us at patreon.com/Khandaan podcast.
Hi and welcome to a new episode of Khandaan Podcast. My name is Asim Bernie and I'm joined with my lovely co-hosts Amrita and Sujoy. Hey Amrita, hey Sujoy.
Hey everybody, how's it going?
Hello.
Again, we're drought in Bollywood. There's no major releases or anything like that, so we're just talking about a few of the things we watched, and we'll be answering some questions that we got from our lovely patrons. If you want to be a patron, you can sign up for $1 and support our work. I think it's very important to support work of people you enjoy, so they can continue working.
Yeah. I know where this is going.
So let's get into a few things. No, I think let's Amrita, we were just talking about something. I cut you off because I was like, this is good content, like I usually do to you guys. Let's get,
करना चाहिए.
this is people should listen to our thoughts. A few big things in rap and music were happening, right? So Amrita, maybe you can just pick up the thread where you are.
Yeah, I was talking about how Diljit made it to Jimmy Fallon. And a friend of our show, Sucharita Tyagi, was in the audience to support him. And there's this really sweet clip floating around of Diljit and her. They had an interview after the show, and Diljit said, like a while back, Sucharita had said, after watching him perform, that I wouldn't be surprised if he ended up performing on an American late night show. And he said, right after I performed at Fallon, that was the first thing that I thought of. And that's why I'm having this sit down interview with you. And I thought that was so cute. But also, Jimmy Fallon milked the heck out of that appearance. Like, if you go to the Jimmy Fallon Instagram page, because we can't go on the TikTok page in India, obviously, but maybe even on TikTok, check it out if you are in a country where TikTok is not yet banned. But if you go to the Instagram page, then literally it is all Diljit videos. Is Diljit sitting in his green room? It's Diljit teaching Jimmy to talk in Punjabi. There is Diljit performing, like everything, And after all of that, Jimmy still called him Punjabi. So I don't know how well all of that actually turned out.
He really put the ooh in Punjabi, right? Like, it's like ooh. It's not fun. It's not fun to listen.
There was also like a really cute video of like after the performance when Diljit is basically just crossing paths with Questlove, who is who heads up the band at the Jimmy Fallon show. And Questlove and his team are sort of like crossing over with Diljit and his team behind the scenes. And Questlove says, they're American, so I'm sure like there's an element of them just being effusive. But Questlove says, that was like one of the top 5 performances I've seen in the, 15 or 16 or whatever years that he spent on the show. And again, like it's just to me, like that's just a symbol of just how much performers really appreciate Diljit. I mean, obviously, like randomly people like you and me really appreciate Diljit as well. But I think performers also really appreciate Diljit because he just brings it every single time, One of my favorite, I've talked about them before, but it's called Waleska Herrera. They're this YouTube reaction channel. But they really know their music. And they did a breakdown of Diljit's appearance as well. And they were just talking about just how difficult it is to come up with good sound on TV, and how Diljit killed it, even with all the challenges that he faced, Yeah, so big day for Diljit and for Punjabi music.
I did hear that interview. I did listen to that interview with Sucharita and Diljit. She asked Diljit about that specific song choice and why that was important and why not the other big hits that he has. And he was like, because this was his first sort of late night show appearance, it was deliberate for him to bring that costume and bring Punjab into the picture, because this was Punjab coming into its, the appearance of Punjab, and he was the mascot of it. And that's why the appearance dictated his song choice. And that was really, really cool, because there's like Naina and all those lovers and all those songs as well, which are probably bigger hits, but this was him showing off the image of Punjab to the world in a way. So yeah,
I thought it was an amazing performance. Like he looked like $1 million. It was really, really cool. I hate Jimmy Fallon. I can't stand the guy. I would literally slap him if I saw him. So it was very difficult for me to even watch the. So what I did is I watched somebody that had reposted the clip instead of watching from the official channels, because that's how far I take my stances sometimes. I'm very hard-headed that way. But I thought he was amazing. I do have to add, before somebody takes my hip-hop card away, that Questlove is the head of The Roots with Black Thoughts. That's where he's known from, not from the Jimmy Fallon band leader. But yeah, getting a hat tip from The Roots, that is insane. That is like high level praise, So that was really, really cool. And I also loved the Sucharita interview. It was very, very sweet. He just seems like a very nice guy, Diljit, all over. So it's one of those guys that I hope nothing dark comes out, like please just be good, so, but I'm sure nothing dark will come out.
And I really appreciate also the fact that he is a giant star, and Punjabis have been having a really difficult time of it in India over the past few years. And I mean, we were laughing about it last time about how Kangana got slapped, but she got slapped because she was basically feeding into the not just Punjabi, but like anti-Sikh narrative that has sort of really taken flight over the past few years. And the whole like Khalistani terrorist, blah, blah, blah. And to see somebody take center stage on a huge platform like Jimmy Fallon, whatever like our personal feelings might be about Jimmy Fallon, but it's a huge deal. It's the Tonight Show. There's like no bigger stage that you can have in American late night television. And to see him go up there and say like "Main hoon Punjab" and in like full Sikh gear, that means something. That is a political statement, and like kudos to him. Like really kudos to him.
Because I did see somebody also interview him, like, why do you not say I'm Indian? Why do you say I'm Punjabi? Of course they do, so it's quite funny, especially because I saw that clip of Anurag Kashyap too about what's the movie that won Cannes or something at Cannes, All That. What is the name of that movie? All That
Lights, the what? The Payal Kapadia movie.
Yes. And she was like, the interviewer was, a big year for India at Cannes. And Anurag got really, really mad. He was like, this is not for India. India just takes credit, They didn't even fund this movie. They didn't even want this movie, but when it wins, it takes the credit. So it just made me think of Diljit's thing, that where he's like very much Punjabi as a Punjabi actor, a performer, and then people are like, why are you not Indian? Why can we not co-opt this? So it was just kind of funny, interesting dynamic to see. Also because I saw another clip of Honey Singh bigging up a Pakistani singer, Faris Shafi, who's had the song in Coke Studio, which is amazing, blockbuster. I don't know if you've heard it, but it's really, really fun. It's really what I've been listening to a lot of times. So it's cool that, with Punjabis, it's just they gel together. They don't have that, division in border as much, because they just share a common culture, they share a common language, and they're kind of cool with it, so yeah. Sorry, Sujoy, I cut you off.
No, the Payal Kapadia movie was All We Imagine as Light.
Right. That was the one. Shall we get into some of the things we watched? Sujoy, you watched a few things.
I did. I watched Varun Grover's directorial debut, All India Rank, which landed on Netflix, and I also watched Maharaj, which just literally dropped to no fanfare after all the noise that it's been making. So, which one should we talk about first?
Let's do it All India Rank, because I also watched Maharaj.
Okay, let me bring out my notes.
You've not seen it, Amrita, All India Rank, right?
Yeah.
It's been on my list with Lapata Ladies, and I still haven't gotten around to it.
Wait, where did I keep it? Oh yeah, there you go. So All India Rank is kind of similar to the other competitive exam movies set in middle class India in the 90s, the struggle of people trying to move above their social circle by means of the parents pressurizing their child to go into, absolute academia and all of that. It's like brimming with 90s nostalgia in the way that is being shot and all of that. But I have not watched a single episode of Kota Factory, which is so much popular in India. So I'm not very much familiar with how much Varun Grover has borrowed or not, or how similar it is or not. I'm just introduced to this world. I have although watched 12th Rank, which is, I think, 12th Fail, which I feel is much superior to this. I think what All India Rank lacks is it feels that it's saying it feels episodic, that in a way that it's not very clear, because it's a 2-hour movie. It's not concise enough to say what it's trying to say. So the drama feels like very meh, all surface level in a way. Yeah. So, and I don't know who this movie is for. Like, I do know it's for the core people of students who probably go through the nostalgia of their struggle days, trying to get into competitive exams. So, and I've gone through that, but even after that, I did not necessarily connect with the messages that this movie was trying to say. However, there is one portion where the drama of the parents trying, realizing about the struggle and what that might, bring to this child's psyche and probably trauma and all of that. There is a scene where the father and the son talk it through, and I think that really brought it. I think that was the best scene of the movie. I'm not giving away spoilers, but also, like, I don't know. I have mixed feelings about this movie. I don't know if I can recommend this enough, or I can say that it's a bad movie. It's a good attempt for a first movie by a director, but also, like, I'm not exactly sure where I stand with this movie.
Yeah. It's funny you're talking about this, because there was this clip that went viral also about this girl that was too late for an exam, and her mom just fainted, and everybody was commented, like, the girl is the one taking the exam, but the mom is making it, emotionally so much harder for her just by making such a big deal about these things. And there's also some student protests going on in India at the moment, right? Some papers.
Yeah, there is a big scam with the medical entrance examinations and how fake and corrupt it is, and what the whole ecosystem behind it, and what it may lead to, the consequences, the people involved, etc. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been on my list for a while, but I think I need to watch Lapata Ladies first before I get
Oh,
into this.
absolutely. For sure.
So yeah, even 12th Fail I haven't seen yet. So,
Mhm.
but yeah, you are right. There are a lot of these movies about. The problem for me is like even that portion in Three Idiots in a way,
Mhm.
because I haven't gone through all of that.
Yeah.
In that same way, it's not something that I connect
Yeah,
with or I want to visit that much.
exactly. The context would be completely lost on you. The
Yeah,
whole, because it's riding so much on nostalgic visuals of the 90s, right? There
yeah,
is minute visual details thrown here and there, which I would feel aha about. Oh, I know that reference, because that's such a dopamine hit when we
yeah.
watch movies like this. But it's completely lost on you.
Yeah. Even when I watched Avesham, there was a lot
Hmm.
of like Indian student and their
Hmm.
issues kind of thing in
Yeah.
there. And again, it's not something that I've went through, so it's very hard. It has a lot of that nostalgia for vibes to it, which
Yeah.
I don't necessarily work for me. Um, yeah. Second movie you watched was Maharaj, right, on
Yeah.
Netflix. Yeah. Amrita, you're not boycotting this. This is because this is an Amir movie, right?
I'm boycotting it because I can't afford to be attracted to like two men in saffron in a row. Like after Atul Kulkarni, like Jaideep Ahlawat in this looks really good to me. And I'm like, there is something seriously wrong with my brain right now. Like
You
I
basically have developed Stockholm syndrome. That's what
yes.
happened.
Yes,
That's
that's what it is.
yeah.
Yes.
By the Jaydeep looks cut, man. Like that
Yeah.
guy, like I don't like six pack. Like it's amazing the way he looks in this.
I
I
It's
don't
was
want to
like,
make any backshot jokes, by the
I was
way.
just like, woohoo! Like I've always thought he was an attractive man, but
Hmm.
yeah, like I saw the trailer and I was just like, damn, like alrighty.
yeah,
Especially the way he speaks, is like very like soft spoken too, and I was just like,
Yeah.
all right.
yeah, yeah.
Do you reckon? So I have a question here, right? This is a movie where it's the next generation of the Khandaan podcast is being launched in a way.
uh,
But the villain is mounted on such a larger scale, right? The villain gets a,
Mounted.
yeah, it is mounted, pun intended. But like the intro scene is so grand when it comes to the Maharaj. The Maharaj is the title character of the movie. What was my question? I completely.
Jaydeep's app just like like Sujoy doesn't even know where to look anymore.
Oh
You were
god.
saying something about this being the next chapter of Khandan and
No,
how
before that,
the
I had actually a genuine question. I completely forgot. Oh fuck.
Speaking of which, when we do hand over Khandan to my daughter eventually, she's going to be only reviewing Suhana Khan, Junaid Khan,
Yeah.
and one of the kids of Suhail or something like that. That's the content you'll be getting.
Never mind.
No, I think you were saying something about like how like Junaid is not like the focus maybe of the
No.
this maybe. I don't know.
So just to get it back to it, if you get your thought, just jump in. But so this movie was about to be released on the 14th of June, and it got delayed because somebody said it's going to be offensive to the certain. Okay, I'll just say I don't know exactly which words to use to describe what's happening in this movie. Is it a religion? Is it a sect? So please, just give me some leniency because this was all very foreign to me. But it seems like they call it a sect in the translation of the movie,
Yeah.
and they might be offended by this. So it was about, I think, at the start of Bombay, when Bombay just literally was given to the British. Or taken from the British, one or the other. It's there were these havelis, these mandirs. They call it mandirs. They call it havelis. And the biggest haveli was this Maharaj character. He was the head of it, and I think the story is about basically. What's it called? I mean, this practice exists even in Europe and a lot of places. I think it's called the first night where the
Oh,
Lord
yeah.
has
Mhm.
what's it called, Amrita? You know what I mean, right?
Droit de seigneur, like that's what
Yeah,
it's
droit de
called.
seigneur. So it's basically if a marriage is happening, the lord of the surroundings gets first dibs to sleep with the woman that's
Yeah.
the bride to be. Here it's different because there's also this religious element to it, which is called Charan Seva, where the whole town, apparently all the women had to sleep with this man. And even using the word had is difficult to say because it feels like they willingly slept with this man. And this is based on a real story and real people. So I think I said that without being offensive to anybody. I think I tried
No,
my
that was
best.
pretty accurate. Yeah.
Yeah. So Junaid, Amir Khan's son, is playing kind of a social warrior journalist called Karsan Das. And then Jaideep Alawat is playing the Maharaj, who is also called JJ, which feels like an Amrish Puri villain's name more than a kind of a saint deity priest.
Oh, now I remember my train of thought. When Amrita was lusting over Jaideep Alawat, my question was, when Amrish Puri did Temple of Doom, do you think people were lusting over Amrish Puri then?
I think it's the hair, man. A lot of it is the hair.
Yeah.
As a bald man, I know
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
with the hair, there's a lot.
I would like to be a good friend and be like, Asim, that's not true. But it is true.
It is.
True. I'm sorry.
Put on a fake wig and I looked 10% hot, like 10 times hotter. I know, you know.
मैं इतनी भी झूठ नहीं बोल सकते आसिम.
So so the story is basically he's this kind of a journalist. He wants to change the world. His the girl that he wants to marry, they're literally going to get married in a few weeks. She gets picked for Charan Seva. He barges in while this is happening, and he tells her, you know, you're just getting molested. Come with me. And she refuses to go. When she sees the error of the ways, she commits suicide. And then it's basically a battle between this high priest and Junaid's character. So that's kind of the story setup. I think I really enjoyed this movie, first of all, straight away. Like I kind of went in with low hopes. I was like, it's going to be fine. But I really, really liked it. It is genre filmmaking. It is courtroom drama. It's a bit of, it's a bit of PK. It's a bit of Jadugar. It's all of those things mixed up together, but really well made. And really good performances. It's a period piece. And I think they were struggling. This is Yash Raj, which is kind of distributing it, if I'm not mistaken, or maybe also produced it, because Siddharth P. Malhotra is like a house director for them. He's done a few. He's done Hitchki for them. He's done We Are Family for them. Both are, again, Hitchki is a very template genre filmmaking, like a teacher changing, lives of students. We Are Family is very much a Hollywood remake, and those both were quite competently made. They weren't like box office smash hits, but they did quite well. And I think this is another one of those movies which is just really well done. The costumes, the production design is really cool. Even some of the special effects is a bit dodgy, but I think the main thing is the performances that people are kind of coming for. I mean, obviously Jaideep Alawat, he's kind of the linchpin. He's amazing in this. And then you have Junaid Khan, which I think is an interesting. What did you think of Junaid?
He's still, like, I think a few workshops behind to actually be launched as an actor. I think especially this movie where there are so many like face-off scenes with somebody like Jaideep Alawat. There is one particular scene where he is drenched in rain and he has to give this whole monologue about, I'll be coming for you. The people, your bhakts might be with you, but the truth will, triumph, etc., etc. And it's such a template Bollywood monologue drama scene. And I would, like, in words of the Gen Zs, like Amir Khan would have ate that, and but it's also unfair to compare a first-time performance of Junaid Khan to an Amir Khan who might have done it in Ghulam or whatever in his peak. But having said that, like, I could see the sort of unpreparedness or the rawness or the freshness or whatever you may term it. Like, you could see when the rain is falling on his eyes, he's so much trouble with blinking and also delivering the line. He's not really ready for that sort of a Bollywood template performance, which we are so much used to. Like, we grew up on scenes like those, and this movie is like a throwback to that era of, villain is bad and the hero is gonna save the world. It's very much that. It's a period movie as we just described in the story, and it's a brave move to launch a Khan baby in a genre like this, where the actor is not hinged. It's not a six-pack, hero heroine romance or whatever. There is no item number. There is none of those, and this movie drops like this, trying to deal with these stories, and it's a brave movie. Like, I would say, like, Yash Raj has been doing, this sort of like really brave move, like with movies like The Great Indian Family, which came and went. Nobody really talks about it, but it's a movie also that deals with religion and why we should question all of that. And this is also such a movie. But coming to Junaid Khan, I feel that he is thoda kacha still, but I appreciate that he starts like his first movie is this.
For me, I thought he was great. To be honest, like, I think he, like, it's, there's a few moments where in the emotional outburst, his voice modulation isn't 100%.
Yeah,
he's still like posture wise. He's like, but those are, for me, are small things. It's a big role to take on, and it's
absolutely
a big thing to take on Jaideep Alawat, in these scenes. And I think if you compare him to one of Sunny Deol's son, Salanke Deol and stuff like that, I think he has a personality, and it shows.
Yeah.
And it's also just brave to take on this movie in the current climate, and even that the movie did get blocked and it gets released. And the thing is, like, he didn't do any press. I don't see any interviews of him and stuff like that. And like, it's not like,
I want to talk a bit about that. Like, I tried to search a lot, like Maharaj, right? The only entry is on IMDb and some Times of India articles regarding the release and the controversy and everything. There is not even a link on Wikipedia about the movie. Junaid Khan does not have a Wikipedia page. I tried to, like, the songs of this movie are quite good. I tried to search for the songs on YouTube Music. On YouTube, only the trailer songs are available. I don't know what's happening with Yash Raj. Like, on Wikipedia, if you see the list of Yash Raj movies that they have produced, it ends with The Great Indian Family, and then Tiger 2, and the next one that who Ayan is making. I don't even see this movie listed, so I don't know what is happening.
I don't know if it's like Yash Raj's infamously inept PR and marketing strategy at work. I think it's mostly Netflix, and Netflix, just like belly flopping hard anytime like a right wing person even looks in their direction.
Yep.
So I think, like, basically this movie got made, and especially with the star cast that it has, which is to say Junaid Khan. I think it got made because the source material is a book that was written by somebody who's very much aligned with the right wing. So they took like a book that already was, like the author is somebody who's known to the ecosystem. Like when the court case happened, you had like editors at, like, I think OP India or whatever, like, whatever those right wing rags are. You had like editors from there saying like, no, I know this man. He's written a book that is like, very important, and it is not anti-Hindu, and it is fine, and I'm sure the adaptation will be fine. So they got a piece of. I was actually saying this to Asim. It's a very clever piece of maneuvering
Mm-hmm.
by Aditya Chopra,
Mm-hmm.
because he's been dealing with this kind of shit for a while now, like with uh, going back to like Pathan or whatever, and Aditya Chopra, whatever my issues with him, and I have a long, long list of issues with Aditya Chopra, but the man is no dummy. Like, he knows how to play the game and he knows the business. And
Adi Chopra was like, "I'll give you an interview Netflix, but you have to release this movie."
and I think like that's basically, like it was like built in, like it's a complex movie, and from the trailer I did get those 90s vibes, in a good way.
Mhm.
And I've already started seeing people on Twitter going like, well, this seems like very dated, like that monologue that you were talking about, Sujoy, the one in the rain.
Mhm.
People have been posting clips and being like, ye kya acting hai, ye to bahut purana hai. And I'm like, actually, no, very impressed that Junaid would do that.
Mhm.
I like it. Like, this is the kind of stuff that, like, it's one of those things, right? Like, when the Archies came out, everybody was like, oh my God, like, this is so anglicized and so Western. And like, why do Star Kids always do this? And then Junaid comes with this, and then everybody's like, ye kya hai? Ye to bahut purana hai. Like, basically, people are going to bitch and moan about everything that you do by virtue of you being a star kid, or even if you're not a star kid, like Kartik Aaryan last week, like one day he was the darling of the masses, and then the next day he was basically scum. And he's not even a star kid. So you can basically just build whatever narrative that it is that you want, and then just sort of work it that way. And people are going to say whatever it is that they want to say. So I want to say, like, kudos to Junaid. He seems to be one of the few star kids that I can see that has like an actual like acting strategy here. Like, I can see how like this is working out. His next movie is with Sai Pallavi, and it sounds like a really interesting project as well. I
Mhm.
I love it. Like, he's making moves, and like, what Asim was saying about this being like a good movie rather than it being like a good Star Kid launch. I
Mhm.
think that's really smart, and nothing less than I expect from Mamu Ka Beta.
No, it's really good. I also want to shout out the women in the movie because I think they're great. I thought Shalini Pandey, who plays his fiance Kishori, she's she has a very like she's very Alia Bhatt
Oh,
coded. Like, I could see
yes,
the
yes,
similarities,
yes,
but
yes,
she's
yes, yes.
great. Like, I felt
Yeah.
like, wow, what a like. Basically, she has a song and three scenes, but they're all tough songs and tough scenes. And I think putting all of that on a very young performer, I think she does really well. And I also really liked Sharvari Wagh in this, who I've
Mhm.
seen in a few things, but she comes into this movie like she's Rani Mukherjee. And I'm like, good on you, like, believe in yourself, hustle until you actually are Rani Mukherjee.
Yeah.
And she was like really like, wow, who is this star that comes in? And the movie
कौन है
does.
ये जिसने दोबारा मुड़ के मुझे नहीं देखा?
Yeah,
It's
and
very
I was
that.
like, wow, like, this is
Yeah.
cool for somebody who literally has not done a lot of work.
Yeah.
Having that kind of star presence is
No,
really, really
she
cool.
has so much spark in this
Yeah.
movie. Like, and I googled where have I seen Shalini before? She played Preeti in the original Kabir Singh movie, Arjun Reddy, and she was
Oh,
also in Jayesh Bhai Jordar, which was Siddharth Malhotra's previous movie, which I think is the connection why they named the nicknamed the Maharaj as JJ all the time. It was like Jayesh Bhai Jordar. Yeah.
I don't think they're creating a Jesh by Jordar Maharaj universe, man. I don't think this is happening.
by the way, talking about Sharvari Wagh, she was in that Three Universe movie called Munjia.
Munjia, yeah.
Ah.
Yeah, and that is apparently the sleeper hit of the year. Like it's
Yeah.
आज
doing
कुछ
like
भी
it's
sleeper hit है.
no, but like it's like
No, it's
really
doing well.
outperforming. Like it's
Yeah.
really outperforming its budget. It's making like it's I think it's almost like it's nearing 100 crores on like a sub 20 crore budget. Like it's
Yeah.
huge.
One more thing about Maharaj, it's just inherently funny because the climactic scene is a courtroom drama, and the justice is being delivered by the British, which just I thought was hilarious. You know,
Yeah.
just something in it so funny.
And it's Jamie Alter who's playing one of the lawyers. It's like represent.
Yeah, and it's when he starts talking that I figured out it was Jamie Alter because this voice is so similar to his dad's.
Yeah.
It was funny because JJ
But
goes like,
in this immaculate, you know.
yeah. And JJ is like, yeah, who is this kid? Iski muche bhi nahi nikli. He doesn't have a voice. He's like, he's 43. Like, this guy is old. Like, I didn't understand that. But also,
Yeah.
like, it's hilarious because Yashraj notoriously doesn't spend any money on their non-Desi cast. And so they're all the worst actors except the two lawyers. One is Jamie Alter and the other is the guy that was playing the villain in Hira Mandi too. So those are good, but the judges are like just hilariously bad. So,
It's so like no information about the cast and crew is available on the internet. Like the supporting cast, you have seen them in every single Gujarati theater or Gujarati TV adjacent shows and whatever. But one face that I definitely recognize, I think Harun, the friend of our show, would definitely appreciate this reference, is Nanuji, who's the guy who is the pipe cutter in Ishq.
who is he? Who's playing in
I
Maharaj?
can't remember his name, but he's the guy who, the Mara 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 scene, if you remember, the deaf guy who keeps on cutting. Yeah, that.
But it's a good one. Amrita, I think you'd like it. I also just was shocked that this was happening, and I was shocked that men were paying to watch it while this I did not know, and I was like so shocked that this is all based on reality and all of these. Like there were a lot of shocking elements in this movie, so it really like wow, it showed me something that I didn't know. But yeah, I would never be surprised by the depravity of men in power, So one thing I wanted to bring up because it's going to lead into the trailer for Kalki, which also dropped. Have you figured out the title of Kalki? 289? What?
80? 80, yeah.
Yeah. The full trailer dropped, and I had this problem with Maharaj, and I had this trouble with Kalki. Guys, I don't think I understand Hindi anymore. Like, I don't understand it. We've reached a place where obviously when we were growing up, we had Qadir Khan dialogues, which were Urdu dialogues, right?
Yeah.
Like I could understand it. I need subtitles. I need subtitles for Maharaj. I need subtitles for Brahmastra. I need subtitles for Kalki. I just don't speak this language anymore, and I'm thinking, that's probably what they want, right?
Boycott.
Yeah, no. I mean, I watch Korean stuff and stuff like that. It's fine, but I think mission accomplished. That's what I'm saying. Whoever wanted it to become more Hindi and rooted in India and versus like a global Urdu speaking kind of thing. Yeah, mission accomplished. I don't understand the language anymore. Like I have real trouble. So
it's weird you say that because for the longest time in the last couple of years, when we grew up watching movies in the 80s and the 90s, even the early 2000s, whenever a Bollywood movie starts, the title of the movie is shown in Hindi, in English, and in Urdu. And we have seen some movies show that in the last couple of months.
Merry Christmas did it.
Merry Christmas did that. And it sort of disappeared. And, famously, Javed Akhtar, when he writes his lyrics, he writes it in Urdu scripture, right? And or Arabic scripture. But yeah, it's lost. It's nowhere to be found, which makes me think that we should watch Kalki in Telugu.
I will watch it in Telugu. That's how I'll watch it.
Will watch it in Telugu. Like I'm not going to watch it.
Do you understand it? Like Sujoy, when you were watching Maharaj, do you need subtitles?
I studied Hindi in school, so my vocabulary is not that bad. But also sometimes it does get lost. Like kya bola isne? Because I don't speak that on a day-to-day basis, right? So
I mean, the problem is always going to be that, like, if you want to have like real Hindi, quote unquote, then that becomes like what is now today known as dialects of Hindi, but are actually languages that predate what we now call Hindi, right? Because Hindi is a Victorian construct that was basically built as a sort of resistance against the encroachment of English, and the Macaulay's education program in the 19th century. So um, what that does is, like, so say your language is like in Awadhi, or it's in Maithili, or it's in, like, these are languages that are beautiful, but also I don't understand them. Like Pansing Tomar is like, that is like a very good example, because that is actual like Hindi if you want, but it's actually in Maithili. Like it's not Hindi, it's Maithili.
Son Chidiya was another one. Like I couldn't
Yeah.
understand anything
Yeah,
that they were saying.
like Son Chidiya. Oh, actually, I was talking about Son Chidiya. Pansing Tomar is also in. I forget which language exactly it is, but like, see, this is the thing. Like, I don't even know, right? Because I don't belong to that part of the country. The Hindi that Sujoy and I learned and that we know is basically a very standardized sort of a thing. It's like
Yeah.
when you learn Arabic, right? Like, there's like standardized Arabic, but then like you talk to
Yeah.
somebody in Lebanon versus somebody in Cairo, it's like very different. And that's basically what it is. So if you want to, this whole nativist urge to be authentic, quote unquote, it's a doomed project, because it eventually devolves into a state where nobody can really understand each other. Whereas with Hindustani, like, like when you're talking about like Hindi versus Urdu, what you're really talking about was Hindustani, which was like the lingua franca that we had all across, northern India and Pakistan, like present day Pakistan and northern India. And that is basically a mix of like local languages that everyone can understand. And like a lot of these, we talk about like the Muslims that wrote Bollywood cinema, but even the Hindus, like people like Yash Chopra or something, when they were growing up, it is absolutely likely that they grew up writing Urdu script like Nastaliq versus like Devanagari. Like, it's really like our generation, like Sujoy and my generation, and maybe like a couple of generations before that, that really began to be taught Devanagari exclusively. But before partition, like if you were born before partition and you lived anywhere, in northern India, or the northern part of the subcontinent, I should say, you were more likely to learn Nastaliq, or just as likely to learn Nastaliq as you were, like the Roman script or the Devanagari script. So there are like all these, like these letters that are written between people who in Bollywood who are writing to each other in Nastaliq. And they're not thinking about like, I'm writing in Urdu, I'm writing in Hindi. I'm just like, they're just writing in Hindustani. That's what they called it. So I think like, especially with movies like Maharaj and with Kalki, I think, because it's supposed to be like science fiction, but also mythological. There is a feeling that, okay, we need to show that this is more Indian. And the way to do that is to make it more Sanskritized. So it's not even like Hindi, it's basically Sanskritized things. And again, like it just sounds really fake to me, because that is not what anybody was talking like. I haven't watched Maharaj, so I don't know. I can't really talk about its dialogues. But if it's set in Bombay and in the 19th century, they were 100% not talking in like a Sanskritized anything. They were talking in.
Yeah, he has a 3-minute monologue where he's just speaking in Sanskrit at the end of it.
It's
Like he's literally just speaking Sanskrit, and then he translated it. But it really felt like, on Muslim TikTok, you probably are not on Muslim TikTok, but there's like on Muslim TikTok you have these daba guys. They're like also they're just preaching and converting people to Islam, and they'll just like speak Arabic verses from the Quran and then translate it or adapt it. And it bothers me because I don't speak it. So, you're just like showing off like how much you've memorized things that you're going to be using anyway, right? So it's kind of the same thing for me. You're really like pushing an agenda of your purity by doing that. Like, this is my level of authority because I have memorized these texts, and I don't know if filmically it works. I mean, it doesn't work for me, but I'm sure it's making other people happy. So I don't want
That particular scene, though, I would defend it in a way because he says that whole speech in Sanskrit and then he translates it, what it means, and then he asks the Maharaj how it is translated within the Haveli in the context and how they misinterpret it to spread, because nobody usually speaks Sanskrit. He addresses that, and that's why because they have the power to be the only ones knowledgeable about Sanskrit, they say that this is the meaning and this is why you should be subservient and serve the Maharaj and the Haveli. The authority of the Haveli relies upon these other religious texts, but this is what it means. They are the only ones to say the meaning, and that's why he says that the true meaning is this, and not that, etc.
Yeah, but I mean, I just don't see young actors speaking 3 minutes in Sanskrit. It doesn't happen a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And he manages, and it looks good, well pronounced. It looks like genuine how it should be. So it just So, but yeah, getting back to the Kalki trailer, Amrita, you saw it, right? What did you feel? What did you think? Are you excited for this?
It's
a minute of silence.
Look, I want to like it. I'm not the audience for this, right? Like, which is very sad because you know how much I love my science fiction. Like, I love a good space opera. Like, I would watch the shit out of it if it looked even halfway competently told. And this just doesn't seem that way. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't like it. It's very like I'd be okay with it sounding so derivative if it also made me think, oh, like I'm just really interested to see how like this would work out. But I'm really not. Like, it's just not for me.
Sujoy?
I'm not. I wouldn't say I'm excited, but the latest trailer makes me think that I should give it the benefit of the doubt, especially because Kamal Hassan has been.
You've been saying that for every single release of the past 5 years.
Yeah,
I mean, the man gave us Bahubali, man. I really would like to root for him,
but easily convinced, like here's a teaser. Maybe I should give it a shot. There's the first poster. Maybe I should give it a shot.
I was just about to say that in the latest trailer, they show Kamal Hassan. And he looks like, a throwback to Supreme Leader Snoke from The Last Jedi. And I'm excited for that. And also,
that's what you like. That's what you want to see, as Kamal Hassan as Snoke.
and also, like, in the latest trailer, Amitabh Bachchan is kicking ass. When was the last time we saw that? Like, he is... exactly. And, like... kicking ass left, right, and center, and I'm excited for that.
I have to say, though, like, this is the first time in a long time that I've seen Bachchan this enthusiastic about a movie. Like, I saw like the press conference and he was like leaping about the place. He was like super happy. I was like, I haven't seen you this happy in a very long time. So he must
ajuba nahi chali thi. He still got that grudge inside him,
I think it's just he got the shipment of the same drugs they're putting Joe Biden on. Time to wake up. I got a debate. Where's the stage?
I didn't know Amitabh Bachchan was on the debate. But yeah, I would go watch this, to be honest, Kalki. But I've only seen the Hindi trailer. The dialogue are so cringe. I would go watch it in Telugu, I think, because the Hindi dialogue are going to ruin the fun, I think, for me.
Yeah,
I do like that they actually dubbed their own Hindi, though. It's like Amitabh's voice is Amitabh's voice. That I think like it's such a small thing, but I think it's quite cool.
Why wouldn't it be Amitabh's voice in Hindi? Like Amitabh literally is a Hindi actor. Like why?
No, but they'd shoot it in one language, and then they have like Sharat Kelkar dub everybody. He's doing Deepika and he's doing Amitabh. You know what I mean?
The bar is on the floor, and it is like drawing like grooves on it.
Yeah.
The bar is Sharat Kelkar.
Yeah.
So sad.
I like this trailer the most out of everything else that I've seen of this mess of a marketing campaign that they've done with this movie. I think, like, even if the movie is good, they should fire whoever they hire to do the marketing, because I have not seen such an incompetent job seen in my life. Like this is like Yash Raj level of marketing. Like this is how bad this is. This is how bad it is. Yeah, it's like you have Deepika, you have Amitabh, you have Prabhas, and you still screw it up. I don't understand how you do that, but they managed to do that. So, or the other thing that I had is that maybe I like this trailer because it has more Amitabh and less Prabhas, because Prabhas just basically sleepwalks through everything that I've seen, at least, and he does nothing for me lately. So I'm hoping this could be something, but even the 3-4 lines that he's delivering are so boring. Boring, they put me to sleep.
In Gangs of Wasseypur, when Sardar Khan dies and Richa Chadda's character goes to Faisal Khan and says, "Kab jagega re tu?" It's that for us, and Prabhas like slapping Ganjeri Naseri. Kab jagega.
And he's like supposed to be the hero that and I'm like, I just want Amitabh to kick ass, and Amitabh does great. He looks great. All of that CGI Biden drugs is working really good.
I like it. That is the one thing that I really liked.
And Deepika, always great to see. I don't know what she's doing, but she's playing Mother Mary or something like that. I'm not sure.
She's like, somebody pointed out that she's basically played the same character in the last 4 or 5 movies that she's been in. I'm like, I can see. She needs to she was in Brahmastra. She was the mom. In in Jawan, she was the mom. Now she's the mom in this. She needs to switch it up a bit.
Yeah, but I mean, always good to see her. I like her little bob cut she's got going on. I like that. So the movie is called Kalki 2898, just AD. Google
You should also add Jiega to Jitega after that, right?
Jitega to Jiega, yeah.
Oh, whatever.
Or Fury Road at the end,
How much plagiarism is too much plagiarism? This movie is just running from it.
I mean, so we put out a reel last week about how some South Korean artist was accusing the Kalki team of ripping off his artwork, and now it's just Americans as well. It's just just a long list of people coming out and being like, "Hey, that's our art. How are you just doing this?" But I guess Vyjayanti Films or whatever.
I have a theory about this though. Probably they did not know all these original artists because they went to Midjourney and they were AI generating, and Midjourney infamously is under a lot of trouble about their training data sets and where their sources and not crediting the original artists. So probably that's the case.
Yeah, I think so too. I think there was a point also I raised a couple of weeks ago about AI and artist accreditation in India has probably, that discussion is not even starting. So I think this is probably the result of that. But I'm looking at the release date again because it's such a mess. It's releasing literally next week, so this might be our main review for the next episode when I'm thinking about it, right?
Possibly, along with Kill, perhaps.
Yeah, no, Kill is coming out 5th of July, so that is going to be a bit later.
Okay. Embargo.
But
I do want to go watch Chandu Champion though. I don't know if
me too.
I'm सोचेंगे, but no.
आप जाइए. It's okay.
I don't know. I feel
What did you say, Asim?
Said, tell me how it was.
But no, I'll go watch it. And I also wanted to watch. I was going to watch both Chandu Champion and Mujia this week, and then I got sick. Otherwise, that's what this episode would have been about. Please don't send us letters about like how we are like all about the Star Kids and we don't talk about outsiders, because we would have. It's just that I've been sick. So
Yeah.
excuse me for living.
Somebody tweeted about the current roster of movies, being screened at the cinema. And it's all like re-releases. Like Lakshya is
Yeah.
getting re-released and
And
all
they're
of that.
doing well. They're doing very well.
Good for them. Like Lakshya finally getting its due so many years later. Like Lakshya is not getting released here, but Pokiri is getting released, the Vijay version, the Tamil one. Tupaki is also getting re-released.
Matrix is getting released. Like it's not even just the Indian cinema. Like even Bollywood ke हमारे पास भी content नहीं है, guys. Like,
there is the whole 99, the movies of 1999 getting a re-release. There is a season going on, and I think Matrix. I'm going to watch Matrix tomorrow. And then there's the Iron Giant, and the Mummy is getting re-released, and all of that. That's good. And American Pie.
Wow. Yeah, none of that is happening in India.
Okay. I think we wanted to do the Q&A, but let's keep that for our next episode, because there's a lot of questions and we're already running an hour. I would suggest sign up to Patreon. Like legit, like not like I usually plug it, but I think if the embargo is up or down, we might get you a earlier review of Kill on Patreon. And this episode of the Q questions will also go earlier on Patreon. So sign up there for $1. You can get those episodes quicker. And you can support our work. So that would be good. Amrita, where can people find you online?
You can find me on Twitter at AmritaIQ.
Sujoy?
You can find me on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at 9e3k. And you can also follow us, Khandaan Podcast, on all our socials at Khandaan Podcast.
I'm at Asim Bernie. Drop us an email at youpodcasting@gmail.com. Follow us on TikTok too. We need to get to 1,000 people, and then we can start live TikToking, which would be cool. We did last one with Harun, and I want to do some more. We've got some new friends on TikTok, which is fun, and I want to do lives with them. So we need to get it to 1,000 people. I know people in India, you can't help me, but people outside, sign up to
do your thing. Do your thing.
Yeah, do your thing. Okay, that's it. Thank you for listening.
Khandaan Podcast, Founders at Diljit. Girl, you're my